Hey everyone, good evening and welcome back to another episode of Speak Up with Mopriya. Today is Sunday and I hope you all are having a wonderful time with your family and your loved ones. However, today is very special because it is the first episode of Expert Talk for the year 2025. And today my guest is also very special. Today's guest is an experienced soft skills trainer. Along with that, she is into sales and partnership, and she is also a passionate keynote speaker. I'm sure all of you are interested in knowing what is keynote speaking. So, without any further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Namrata Asrani and be ready to enjoy this episode while we speak about confidence, keynote speaking, and skill development. Make sure to have a pen and a paper handy so that you can take down any important note. And with that, let's jump into the conversation. Hi, Namrata. Good evening. And thank you so much, first of all, for taking time out and agreeing to be on this episode of Expert Talk. I'm very happy because you are the first guest of the 2025 series of Expert Talk. And welcome to the show. I have already given a little bit of introduction about you to our audience, but why don't you start by telling me how are you doing today and how has the new year been so far for you?
Hi, Mokriya. Thank you so much for having me today. And it's the start of the year. We are 3 days into the year, and I feel really fresh and rejuvenated and filled with more hope. 2024 was a really good year for me, touch wood,
Hmm.
and I wish that this year comes and turns out to be even better. So I've been doing really well, and I'm glad to be a part of this today.
Wonderful. Glad to hear that 2024 was good. Even I have, when I was doing my thinking in the month of December, I could also categorize 2024 to be a very nice and eventful year. And I was so happy. And that somehow gave me a very positive feeling for 2025 as well. Somewhere I already know it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, yeah. Starting off on that note.
Yeah. Okay, okay. All right. So, welcome once again. And my first question to you today, Namrata, would be how would you describe Namrata as the professional and also as the person?
Okay. As I'll talk about the personal note first. I
Mhm.
am a avid reader. I am really hungry for knowledge, and I am constantly seeking, finding answers on various areas and topics of my interest. Anything that I come across that catches my interest is something that I want to learn and dig deeper into and learn more about. And I love running, so that's a lot about what I like to do.
Mhm.
And professionally, I've been into sales and partnerships since the start of my career. I'm also an internationally certified soft skills trainer, and I love keynote speaking. So that's pretty much what I do.
Wow, that's amazing. So, soft skills, as you said that you are a soft skills trainer, so both of us are from the same background. How important would you say to all our readers, if you have to stress on the point once again, how important would you say soft skills are for their professional as well as personal development?
Great question. And the term that I myself used, which was soft skills, I would want to rephrase it, calling it power skills, because soft skills
Mm,
doesn't actually justify and really give, I would say, the right name to what it actually is.
agreed.
So, power skills in this case is something that is imperative for anyone and everyone in this world. I wouldn't even say professionally, for us to even put across our message to our spouse or our family or our parents needs that kind of communication, that kind of knack, that kind of convincing power. And for that matter, the moment you step into an organization to have an interview or to rather to
Right.
be a part of an interview, and to the time that you're serving your period over there, every single thing and every single part of your progress, uh, in that soft skills plays or power skills plays a very important role, which is not very directly visible, the way hard skills are like coding, etc., etc. Soft skills is not directly tangible, but it does play a very imperative role.
Absolutely. I agree to that. And I love the name Power Skills because I couldn't stress more on the fact that how important it is to not just focus on the hard skills or the technical skills, but also have the power to convince people or to persuade people or to just put across your thoughts to people. I think that is very, very important. And it's also, it's also very tricky. It's not that you can just do it in one day until unless you have like inborn instincts, which is very rare. But of course, with a lot of practice, everybody can master those skills.
Completely. And I'm sure you've seen that through your own journey and through people around you's journey as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that. Now, you said you love something else, and that was keynote speaking. And I think that's the very first time that we have come across this term on any of the episodes here. So I'm sure all the viewers are very excited to know what is keynote speaking. So could you just quickly, give us a brief in simple words about what this is all about?
Sure, I would love to. Keynote speaking in its simplest form is a keynote speaker can start in or be in the middle of a conference and basically connects the entire theme of the conference through his or her message. At the same
Mm.
time, a keynote speaker is someone who talks about and is an expert or has deep knowledge of a particular subject area. So, say in your case, soft skills. In soft skills, a particular area going into a niche where your expertise is as you learn and as you have gone deep into it, that becomes that area of niche, and that's how someone develops as a keynote speaker, becomes a keynote speaker.
Wow, that is very interesting. So, tell me this, if somebody wants to become a keynote speaker, right? What will be the skills that they should have or they should focus on developing?
So the most important is one, building, understanding what is it that you want to put across there, what message do you want to put across there, because everyone loves talking more or less. I mean, not literally everyone, but you get my point. So everyone has
Right.
something to say, but what is the message that you, or what is the core that you want to deliver, that you believe will add value to people's lives? So that's the first, I would say, clarity of mind. And
Mm.
then that expertise on that. I might love talking about, or I might be really interested in, for example, psychology. But as I do not have the educational background of psychology specifically, I might not be able to go deep into that and become a keynote speaker on that. So my
Right.
area of expertise is something that is important. So clarity of mind, area of expertise. The next thing is putting yourself out there. So a keynote speaker needs to really be out there. You need to be heard. You need to be okay to even make a fool of yourself if that ever
Mhm.
is the case, or if it ever happens. You need to be a quick thinker, uh, and that comes because a skill like that. Because when you speak in front of an audience, or if you speak to a group of people, it is very likely that what you're going to speak on, if it is interesting enough, people will want to know more about something that you have mentioned or will have a question. While you might have extensive knowledge, there is something that you might not have been able to cover. So you need to be a quick thinker. You need to be able to get back in a way that is either giving the answer, or you can give them the reason as to how you will get back to them. And two important things: networking. Okay.
Mm.
So if I put myself out there, but I don't know how to network, or I feel, really shy to do that, then that's not going to really build uh, uh, a portfolio or a stage for me to actually reach out there. So,
Mm.
networking. And the last and honestly the most important is consistency, because credibility is built with consistency. No
Mm.
one can do this overnight. Like, this is not a
Right.
journey where you can build your credibility without consistency over a period of time.
That is true. So true. I think all the points that you were speaking, I could actually relate to each one of them because all of them are so relevant and so important. So tell me, Namrata, for anyone, if they want to become a keynote speaker, they may be a professional, like you're a sales professional and you also do keynote speaking, you love doing it. So if anybody wants to become a keynote speaker, what should be their plan of action or how should they go about it?
Okay, so first is you can do a SWOT analysis where you
Mhm.
understand what your strengths, weaknesses are, what are the opportunities that you want to dig into or tap into. The
Hmm.
moment you understand what your strengths are, the audience that you want to cater to, or the audience that you want to put yourself out to, and
Hmm.
in this whole step process, there's a very clear reason, and until that why uh, is not actually found and the core of that doesn't come, the next steps you might keep doing it, but you will not really get that
Right.
progress that you're looking at because the why needs to be very, very strong of your. Simon Sinek in his book Why also talks
Yeah.
about this. So,
Correct.
yeah, and once you have that in mind, you need to find one particular platform. It can be anything. The idea is you can put yourself out there on every single channel, but focusing on one channel basis your actual audience is something that would, help you focus your attention on that because every single channel, whether it is a Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc., the audience they're messaging, the way you need to message is very different. So I
Right.
might be able to easily replicate my content, but that may not resonate with every single person. So it's imperative that you select one core platform more than thinking that you need to cater to all. And once you've selected that, just keep putting yourself out there and networking with people.
Absolutely. Very nice. I think you have given a wonderful way forward to people who are interested, and I think they have gotten the message already. But that brings me to another thought that when you talk about putting yourself out there or being clear with what is it that you want to talk about or the message that you want to put out there, a very important thing that comes to my mind is your confidence and your communication. So, if we put that together, what about confident communication and how important is that for somebody to become a keynote speaker or to become any professional?
So the core of anything is confidence. I might not know anything about selling a product, but if I have confidence in the product, forget myself
Mm,
alone. If I have confidence in the value of the product, my product is going to sell.
correct.
And the same is the confidence within. So, for all students and even working professionals, when you enter an interview, we often assume that we need to know everything. We need
Mm,
to know everything about the company. We need to know everything about the job description. Yes, it is important to know the base of all of those things. But the moment you have confidence that you will be able to answer everything, or if you don't know the answer, you can you can answer them in a way where you at least have done your homework, you've at least done your research, or you answer them smartly where you can even get back to them.
right.
So confidence, without that, you might have the best skills, but somewhere you need the confidence to actually put yourself out, to put your skills ahead.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Also, a lot of people think that, oh, I was not born confident, so maybe I will not be able to inculcate that skill or that trait in my personality. But I keep telling people it's a big myth. So why don't you share a little bit of your, point of view on the fact that can confidence be developed or inculcated in anyone? Can anybody become confident?
I believe not just confidence, but every single skill in this world can be developed. So,
Right.
I'm just trying to get the name of this book that I read. Yes, Mindset. Okay.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I read it a couple of years back. And when I read it, my mind opened into so many dimensions that I couldn't believe that the life that I was living before and the limited thoughts that I had. The core of the book and the core of growth mindset in the book is that anything, any skill with practice, with
Right.
patience, with hard work and consistency can be developed. You might not be great in maths in school, but that doesn't mean you're weak.
Correct.
That skill can be developed with extensive practice. So, the same way, confidence, even though it's not tangible, it is something that with practice and with being okay with failing can be developed. With freedom from fear, it can be developed.
Absolutely, that is very true. And I think you have mentioned an excellent book, Mindset. I also loved it. I listened to the audio of the book. I'm not
Okay.
great with nonfiction reading, but I love to
Uh,
listen to audio books. And I loved it. Like, Mindset, then we have Atomic Habits. These books are
yeah.
so amazing. And the kind of, thoughts that it provokes in your mind, I think it is excellent, and thank you for sharing that.
When I read that book, I just wish I was exposed to it when I was in school or through my whole learning journey.
Yeah.
I believe that every parent should read it to be able to put their children through the whole journey, and every teacher should read it to have faith in their students and children.
Absolutely. I think you have said a wonderful thing. It was so beautiful. And it is so true. Like, I also keep sharing this with people that these two places, which is your home and your schooling, like the basic years of your life, they are the foundation. And if that is done in the right way, if you get the right kind of people around you in those years, your life is set, right?
Yeah.
But even for even one thing, I was just discussing with somebody the other day, that even if you didn't have the ideal childhood or the ideal setup as a kid or as a child, uh, once you become a little sensible, once you become an adult, I think even then it's a great time to make the right choices for yourself, because then you have so much of information that is available to you, and now you have so many different content that is out there. I think then it becomes the responsibility of the individual, or of the adolescents, to keep an open mind and see what are the things that can benefit me, or where is it that I'm wasting my time.
Completely agree. It's simply, even if you're exposed to it today, whatever age, day, time, it's just
Correct.
being open to unlearning and relearning. And
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely. Very well said. All right. So, Namrata, being a soft skills trainer, I think we definitely should try and share at least a couple of uh, tips or ideas to our audience as to how they can develop or work on their confidence level. So, what would you want to share as your expertise as a soft skills trainer? What should people do to work on their confidence?
okay. Um, to work on someone's confidence or to work on your own confidence, the first thing is to understand what is it that I feel underconfident in, or where am I feeling? Is it to speak in front of an audience? Is it to speak a particular language? Is it is it to negotiate a deal? Is it to go out there, put yourself out there? Every single person has one or a certain area of things where they have stronger sense of self, and somewhere where their confidence is wavering. So the moment we understand where is it that we need to improve our confidence, that's the first step.
Hmm.
Now, the second thing that you do when you want to actually increase that or develop that is, first ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? That
No.
if if I am myself, what I am today, and I have to do something that doesn't make me feel comfortable, and I do it regardless, what's the worst that will happen? Because
Yeah.
often we create such a big scenario in our head, none of which plays out, thankfully, because it's
Correct.
our thoughts that's creating those scenarios and situations.
Mhm.
The next thing, and this I strongly believe in, and this is one of the things that is closest to my heart, is that whatever happens in life, the higher power or God or whatever it is that anyone associates with, whatever situation comes to us, we are going to be able to handle it, and that's why it comes to us. So only the
Yeah,
situations that are coming our way are situations that we are going to be able to handle.
correct.
If there's something that you cannot handle, it will not come your way. As
Mm,
simple as that. So when you keep that in mind, your confidence will automatically from here go to here, because all your
yeah,
fears will come melding away.
correct.
And the most important, the power of imagination. So say you want to speak in front of an audience, and you need to deliver something. It is your office presentation, and it's the first time you're delivering a presentation. I remember the first time I delivered mine, and it gives me chills even today. But I'm really grateful for that experience, all the learning that I
Yeah.
had through that. And you imagine that scenario, you imagine it exactly how you
Mm,
want it to play out. Again, this is the power of imagination, which is so strong. Every talk you hear, every book you read will talk about it, but when it comes to apply, we all somewhere don't take it as
mm,
seriously as we need to. So
correct.
say someone stutters but wants to be able to speak fluently, so keep imagining on a particular word, for example. So keep imagining how you will say it fluently the next time. And then
Mm.
automatically that will help in improving and increasing your confidence levels.
That is wonderful. I loved the points that you spoke about, like your confidence in the highest power or whatever you believe in. I think that is beautiful. And from today, it's going to be close to my heart as well because I absolutely loved it. It is so nice. And of course, imagination again is a very important and a very effective tool, I would say, because the more you play the scenario in your mind and the more you think about it, the more you become a believer in that, and then it shows, like it actually stays in your subconscious, and it shows or
Yeah.
reflects when you are actually in that scenario. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Namrata, for sharing all those wonderful things with us today. And I'm sure everybody is going to love this episode, and they are going to get a lot of knowledge and insight at the very start of the year, which I think is going to be very beneficial for them to plan their journey ahead. So, thank you so much for sharing so many insightful details with us today. And I would definitely want to catch up with you sometime in the future.
For sure.
But for today, definitely thank you once again. And I wish that you have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Mopriya, and I hope this truly helps and adds value to people's life. And I'm really happy to see you growing and progressing, really, from the last
Thank you.
time that we spoke. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we spoke last year somewhere around the early months, right? Jan or Feb.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm happy that both of us are progressing and both of us are being able to chase the dreams that we have.
I
And
agree.
yeah,
And when you shared your links with me, I felt so happy. I was like, I remember we just briefly talking about, I would say somewhere limitations more than opportunities.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, she actually created her own opportunity. So I'm very happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was lovely connecting with you today. But
Yeah,
yes, I would definitely want to connect with you in the future again. Let us try and plan
yes,
something in the future and see how
done,
things are. Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.